Hi there, Anna Rona coming to you today. And today I'm going to be speaking about the concept of nowhere to go. So, what do I mean by that? So, if you think about the average North American person, they are constantly going somewhere, running around late, trying to get here, having to do that, full schedule. It's exhausting. So I've been there. I was working a full-time job, two part-time jobs. I was a single mom and trying to run my business. And it was almost to the point where I was like, something has got to give. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of us out there who are burning the candle at both ends. Okay. So I hear you. I understand that this is not an easy road and we have to do what we have to do to make ends meet. I get that. But one thing I want to mention is sometimes we fill up our schedule with things that aren't necessarily necessary all the time. We're just busy for busy's sake. Some of us like to have social engagements every night of the week, and we go out after work or do what we do. Anytime we have free time, we fill that up with something and we never leave time for ourselves. There's a lot of people in our lives that we have that put demands on us. You know, many of us are caregivers. We have people who rely on us. We don't necessarily have the luxury of a lot of free time. One thing I want to share is that a few years ago, I began meditating. And when I started meditating, I noticed a significant shift in myself. I was much calmer. My anxiety was virtually gone after I became a regular practice for me. Things that would normally trigger me, that someone would maybe say or something would happen, ceased to continue to trigger me anymore. And this is a really profound shift that I went through because for someone who would just automatically react to life and what I thought was being thrown at me or coming my way from the outside in, I started to realize that I'm actually the creator of my environment. So when I say there's nowhere to go, I mean, there's really nowhere we need to be. We can sit with ourselves in silence and make some profound changes to our lives just by doing that. So I was taught to meditate for 1 minute for every year of age that you are. So a 20-year-old would meditate for 20 minutes a day consecutively, like in order, not two 10-minute periods. Someone who's 33 would meditate for 33 minutes a day, and so on and so forth. So this was a bit of a challenge for me in the beginning, just to sit still, and my thoughts would constantly be going, and that's normal and that's natural. And the point is just to let the thoughts go, like a river flowing or like clouds floating by. Just let those thoughts keep going and focus on the breath is what I was doing. There's 101 different ways we can meditate. I like to focus on the breath, something called central channel breathing. I find that helps with my posture, and I find that helps the time of meditation go by a lot quicker. And I like to meditate first thing in the morning. As soon as I get up out of bed, I sit up, I put a blanket around me, I put my timer on, and I go to town. Definitely noticed a shift in my ability to cope with life and the stresses in my life and the people who used to trigger me when I started to meditate. And I think that during the recent 2 years and all the lockdowns we've had, a lot of people have had the opportunity to spend more time with themselves and their loved ones and those people that they lived with. This has been a blessing and a curse to some. I personally really enjoyed the quiet time that I got for myself, and with my family. I was able to deepen my meditation practice, which has again enhanced my life in many ways. So take a look at now that things are opening up. Are you running around a lot? Are you filling in your time and being busy with things just for the sake of being busy? Because a lot of us don't actually like silence. A lot of us don't like when there's quiet. We'll turn the radio on, we'll turn the television on, we'll talk to somebody. Sometimes people don't like being alone with themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's you, I just want you to know that that's where you're at. And maybe try to add a few moments each day of silence into your life and see how that actually feels. Because in the end, all we have is what's inside of us. Now, I used to think this was just like a yoga sitting on the mountain kind of concept of these like shamans and meditators and I don't know what they mean when they say all the answers lie within, but the more I started to meditate, the more I realized the results it gave me. The more I realized that I don't have to jump up and down, please everybody else, fill up my schedule, and I'm okay with my own company. I'm okay with the silence. In fact, I actually really like the silence and the quiet, sometimes more than the noise and the chaos and the distractions that are out there in the world. So, just wanted to bring this to your attention in case it's something you hadn't thought about before. If you're already meditating, fantastic. I'd love to hear how you like to meditate, what benefits you've gotten from it. And remember, there is really nowhere to go when it comes to our inner peace. Inner peace is an inside game. That's why it's called inner peace. We find it by closing our eyes and going within, because the peace lies within. And once we get through that layer of monkey mind, as it's called sometimes, the incessant chatter of the ego and the protective personality that's got an opinion about absolutely everything, and will one minute argue this point and the opposite point will be argued the next minute, really doesn't matter. Just let it be. If our attention goes there, then we're wrapped up. Our conscious awareness is wrapped up in those thoughts, whatever they may be. But if we can pull our attention back and learn to become the witness of our own thoughts, and we realize that our thoughts are not who we are, then magic starts to happen in our lives. And many of you can probably relate to what I'm saying. And if you can't, then I encourage you to try this. It needs to be a regular practice for at least a little while before you'll see results, but not necessarily. Maybe you'll see results the first time you meditate. So there's no rules to this game, but I want you to realize there's really nowhere to go but inside. And I hope this video has been helpful, and I'm wishing everybody a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.